We might be witnessing another Alex Neutron MeepCity party situation with Robloxian High School and its devs. This case is so bad that I think the game should honestly be taken down if the problem that the devs have accelerated isn't properly taken care of. Robloxian High School is a big roleplay game by Twin Atlas that has 1.2 billion visits and was part of several Roblox events. It's another one of those basic high school roleplay games where you pretend to be a not-so-typical high school student. It used to be a massively popular game but has fallen off severely within the last couple of years, which is a very important part of this situation. This game is well known for its advanced custom avatar editor, which has spawned several memes, including the Despacito spider. That avatar editor might be the biggest draw to the game these days because of how you can virtually create anything with it. A lot of people just stand around near spawn with their custom avatars and talk with people rather than actually going to class or anything like that. Unfortunately, since it can be used to create pretty much anything, a lot of weirdos play the game to create disgusting avatars. Unlike MeepCity, where people would put bypass clothes onto morphs, RHS sees people use the avatar to create 3D versions of those bypass clothes. Despite the game not being as popular as it once was, it's still a massive problem that sees weirdos create disgusting avatars, sometimes even of animals. You'd expect a game that's full of kids like Robloxian High School to moderate this kind of thing to protect their players and keep the game clean. Instead, the exact opposite happened, as the developers took steps to increase inappropriate content so they could get more visits and money. Believe it or not, it's really that bad. The purpose of this video is so y'all can learn how to not handle a game's issues, so please watch this through before making any opinions or comments. Just over a week ago, this document was posted to Twitter outlining some new issues surrounding the game and its developers. The doc comes from a former moderator of the game and includes statements from other moderators and RHS community members too. It's super long and kinda hard to follow at points, so I'm gonna do my best at summarizing what happened so this video isn't too long. Robloxian High School used to have in-game moderation, something necessary for a game of this nature. The game had apparently recently somewhat been uncared for by the development group Twin Atlas, as they've put their focus on their new game Drive World. Moderators had requested more help from the developers but were denied due to other games taking priority or they got ghosted. This led to Robloxian High School's moderation team becoming somewhat stressed and being unable to handle everything in-game, as reported by RHS players. It also seemed to lead to some moderators not caring and abusing their mod powers by randomly banning people. This caught the attention of the game's creator Usering, who unbanned everyone who was unfairly banned. But they weren't the only ones who were unbanned, and that wasn't the only action taken by Usering. First of all, everyone who had ever been banned was unbanned, so that means all of the weirdos, exploiters, and whoever else had been banned at any time. That's certainly not an ideal reaction to a couple of mods unfairly banning some players, but it gets even worse. Instead of just firing the mods who abused, Usering decided to entirely remove all in-game moderation and get rid of all mods. All moderation to help keep clean a game full of kids was removed by the creator as a result of a couple of mods abusing. Obviously, this is a terrible decision in any situation, especially in a game where both kids and degenerates coexist. All players being unbanned and the removal of moderation has led to a rise in inappropriate players, especially those abusing the avatar creator. Players have expressed their concerns about this, and the devs' reactions were so dumb that I honestly thought it might have been fake when I first saw it. Usering replied to someone saying RHS wouldn't survive in its current state by saying that the game had no moderation for years and it was fine. That's actually not true, as players abusing the avatar editor had been a known issue for years, so no, the game wasn't fine. Moderators were thankfully doing their job during those times, but they no longer could after in-game mod powers got removed. He mentioned to another person that the plan was to allow Roblox's new image reporting feature to do the moderation for them. The only issue with that is that the image reporting only works for games and not players, so we'd be reporting Robloxian High School, not the player. But at this point, that might actually be the better option. Usering also pretty much defended removing in-game moderation by saying moderating is Roblox's job actually. If that all sounds familiar, that's probably because it's almost exactly what Alex Neutron was saying back in the day about MeepCity parties. Both Usering and Alex Neutron defended the lack of moderation in their games by just telling people to report stuff to Roblox because supposedly that would work too. The only issue is that in both of these cases, that's not possible, which both Alex Neutron and Robloxian High School devs should have known. It's extremely difficult for Roblox moderation to handle stuff that is custom stuff put into a game by players, such as a morph or custom avatar. Stuff like a MeepCity party sign or a custom RHS avatar exists in specific servers with specific players present, and they're always changing, so it's near impossible for Roblox to moderate. Developers as experienced as Robloxian High School devs should know that, but apparently they don't. Even if they did know that, I'm not exactly sure if they'd even care though, because one big reason behind removing moderation is absolutely insane. HansyBoy00, a former developer of RHS, confirmed in-game moderation was removed because it helped get the game more visits and money. According to him, Robloxian High School is now doing better in terms of its player base and finances without there being in-game moderation. Robloxian High School's moderation was removed to help revitalize the game by pretty much allowing all of the degenerates to freely play it. They abandoned moderating their own game and put all responsibility on Roblox's moderation, who can do nothing against these players to get more visits and money. Usering and whatever other devs may have been involved in this decision have put profit ahead of the safety of their child player base. I couldn't believe all of this was real, but you can go to the public Robloxian High School Discord server and see it all for yourself. Devs of a huge game have sacrificed child safety in a game known to have problems for their own profit and success. That's probably not the sole reason for the removal of in-game moderation, but the fact it is one is unacceptable. But a week after HansyBoy said that, on November 28th, a reporting feature was added to combat inappropriate custom avatars, but it's not exactly ideal. If a player sees an inappropriate avatar, they can report it by simply clicking on the avatar and reporting it, which turns it invisible for whoever reported it. If apparently around 5 to 6 people report the same person, that person has their custom avatar taken off and they get locked out of the avatar editor for 12 hours. So not only does this not permanently remove violators or their custom avatars, it easily punishes innocent players too. The people who fall victim to this feature are flagged and sent to RHS staff for review, but what can happen from there isn't made clear. It's definitely good and way better than nothing, but if it doesn't permanently remove certain users, then it should be improved upon. Then on November 29th, in-game moderation was apparently re-added for a select few people with plans to add more mods and more commands soon. This wasn't publicly announced as far as I'm aware, but the person who made the document was told that by a Twin Atlas community manager. They went into detail about how they're now basically restarting in-game moderation in a way that's careful and prevents any abuse. So it looks like all is good and back to normal, right? Unfortunately, apparently not all is well, as that same Twin Atlas community manager defended custom avatars that the doc maker describes as vase girls. These avatars are those extremely out of proportion female avatars that are often used and adored for the wrong reasons. Now, I know I'm gonna get these comments, so I'm gonna say it here, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with the female body or anatomy. It's just that in this Roblox context, avatars like these are most often used for the wrong purposes, and that's something we've seen time and time again. Avatars with crazy unrealistic proportions like these are often used by weirdos for weird purposes, and they've gotta go. This again is something that should be pretty known, especially among communities such as Robloxian High Schools, but I guess not. Also, this not being publicly announced anywhere, especially by usering in the game's server, does have me questioning if they really care. You'd think they'd publicly announce it with how much backlash they've gotten, but I've seen nothing about it yet. At this point, I'm not even sure if it fully exists, but according to the document maker, it does. The final complaint in the document at the time of writing this video is the slow response time to new moderation reports. Apparently the moderators are taking days to respond to reports, which obviously isn't ideal, especially for a kids game. There is a chance that the mod team is small and busy with other things, but if that's the case, then maybe invite more people to the mod team. I'm not sure what type of reports these are for either, whether it be from the avatar report feature or in-game moderators. To me, it feels like there isn't much focus on moderation with a slow response time and lack of announcements about moderation. It does appear that Robloxian High School is close to being back to how it was, which still wasn't great, but better than no moderation. I'm just worried that it's not being cared for and focused on as much as it should be. I did go in game yesterday and noticed that it wasn't as easy to find something bad as it was just a few days prior. Things seem to have improved, but the mindset Robloxian High School team members have shown has put the game's safety into question. How clean can the game be if some inappropriate avatars are deemed okay, while success has taken priority over child safety? Safety should always take priority over success, because you can't have success without having safety being key. Just look at what happened in MeepCity and the parties that ended up being full of adult content because of negligence from its devs. Parties brought in millions upon millions of visits, but they also ended up leading to MeepCity being banned and losing tons of players. The game went from getting around 7.5 million visits a day to getting around 1 million per day since being banned. Had MeepCity properly moderated the game, parties would still exist and be a huge draw to the game and surely would bring in a ton of visits. But the lack of safety that led to temporary success led to a key feature being removed and the game's probable longevity being ruined. If Robloxian High School values success through unsafe content over safety, they will likely fall down the same path. The game will get so bad that Roblox will shut it down or force the removal of a key feature, taking away future visits it likely would have gotten. You should also want to protect your players, not only because they help you succeed, but they're real people and mostly kids too. What happened in MeepCity likely led to thousands of children becoming interested in things they shouldn't have seen at such a young age. This is literally documented to have happened by multiple people admitting it happened to them or their siblings. In a video coming next week, I interviewed someone Schlepp and I caught in a Roblox sting operation who fell down the same path of destruction due to unsafe Roblox games. Robloxian High School is an all-ages game full of children who need to be better protected by the people in charge. They aren't just numbers, they're real people who should be playing in a safe environment without harmful content all around them. That goes for all games, but obviously ones like RHS where inappropriate stuff is more likely must be watched more carefully than others. Protecting your players and your game is key to your game's longevity and success, or else it'll crash and burn like MeepCity. This Robloxian High School situation is a disappointing one, especially after what happened with Alex Neutron and MeepCity. You'd think developers, especially ones of big games like RHS, would have learned from that, but evidently these ones didn't. The priority of success over user safety is extremely bad and not something that should be repeated by anybody. Thankfully, it does appear that steps have been made to make the game safer, but there are still questions about how safe the game will be. The Robloxian High School devs should put more priority into keeping their game safe and as clean as possible so it can continue to exist and be played. There's a lot to learn from this case, but the biggest thing is to always keep your games and players safe or you will be punished one way or another.